Good morning. I'm Brad DeLong. And this is my morning coffee. Actually, this is my afternoon coffee. It's well past noon. You see, this week I asked my graduate students to write on the following question: whether and how Karl Marx is relevant to a 21st century neoclassical economist. And they turned around and they wanted me to answer the question during class. So I stammered and hammered for a while, but now I've had a chance to collect my thoughts, and let me give the answer to that question here. So here goes. First, let me say I'm here to talk about Marx the economist. Marx did not divide himself into Marx the moralist prophet, Marx the political activist, and Marx the economist, but we do. We divide him into those three. So I may talk about Marx the moralist prophet and Marx the political activist some other time, but today I'm interested only in Karl Marx the economist. And I do think Karl Marx the economist is relevant to a modern neoclassical 21st century economist, and I think he is worth studying for 5 reasons. First, Marx the economist was among the very first to get the Industrial Revolution right, to understand what it meant for human possibilities and the human destiny, in a sense that people like Adam Smith did not. People like Adam Smith were comparatively clueless about what was about to happen. Second, Marx the economist got an awful lot about the economic history of the development of modern capitalism in England right. Not everything, but he is still very much worth grappling with as an economic historian of the years from 1500 or so to 1850. And then there are 3 more, third, fourth, and fifth. Marx made a threefold critique of the capitalist economy that he saw developing. He believed, third, that an economic system that reduced everybody to some form of prostitute, to somebody working for wages and wages alone. A system in which people viewed their jobs not as ways to gain honor, or professions that they were born into, or had chosen, or as ways to serve their fellow man, or as expressions of their inmost essence as a species being. Societies in which people thought of what they did with most of their waking life simply as a way to earn money so that you could begin your real life only after the 5 o'clock whistle blows. That such an economy is an insult, delivering low utility, and is also sociologically and psychologically unstable in the long run, and must, in the end, be replaced by something else, for both practical and moral reasons. Second, Marx believed the capitalist economy was incapable of distributing an acceptable distribution of income for anything but the briefest of historical epochs. Great wealth, but also great poverty. Fifth, Marx was among the very first to recognize that the fever fits of financial crises and depression that afflict modern market economies were not a passing phase, not something that could be easily cured, but that they were rather a very deep disability of the system, as we are being reminded once again right now, this time with Ben Bernanke in the hot seat as chairman of the Federal Reserve. Now, we modern neoliberals have parries to these latter 3 critiques. On the business cycle, we respond that Keynesianism, or monetarism, if you swing that way, gives us the tools to transform the business cycle from a life-threatening economic yellow fever of the society into the occasional night sweats and fevers, that with economic policy quinine, we can manage, if not completely banish, the disease that is the business cycle. So far, so good, but we'll see. On the distribution of income, we neoliberals respond that beveragism or Murdolism, social democracy, progressive income taxes, a very large and well-established safety net, public education to a high standard, the mixed economy, channels for upward mobility, all the panoply of the 20th century social democratic mixed economy state, that we can banish like bad dreams all of Marx's fears that capitalist prosperity, in the terms of the level of production, must be accompanied by great inequality and great misery. On the cash nexus, we know modern neoliberals shrug our shoulders and say that we are in favor of a market economy, but not necessarily of a market society, and that there is no reason why people cannot find jobs they actually like, or if they don't, why they can't insist on differentials that compensate them for taking jobs that they do not like. And we go on to say that the demand for and forecast of a true utopia, that jumped up monkeys with big brains be perfectly happy, that is a demand and forecast that belongs in the book of Daniel or in the apocalypse, not something that has any place in the study of or of any work of political economy relevant to this foreign world. We deal with the world as it is. We don't deal with a New Jerusalem. We make these parries, and in order to be, I think, a full card-carrying economist, you have to make these parries. You have to understand what you're arguing against, and Marx's threefold critique is, I think, one of the very best expressions of what you have to argue against in order to buy onto the current system in any of its form. If you can't make those parries successfully, you ought to go off and do something else. Perhaps be a moral prophet or a political activist. And I'm Brad DeLong, and this has been not my morning, but rather my afternoon coffee.